Hi YouTube, it's me again. It's been a while since I made a video. It's been actually about a couple of months, and the main reason has been that I've not really picked up anything. I made a conscious decision not to just keep buying video games that I never play and building up a huge library of DVDs that I never seem to watch, and Blu-rays as well. So I've kind of cut back, curtailed my consumption of things until I've worked my way through some of the backlog stuff that I have. But I did make a couple of pickups, so if anything, this video will be quite short and sweet and won't contain the rather rambling quality that the previous two had. So first off, I got one 360 game in the last couple of months, and that was Bulletstorm, and I got that for the princely sum of £5 from Morrison's. Good old Morrison's. I love Morrison's. So I'm actually playing Bulletstorm at the moment. I'm pretty much finished it. I've just been playing it now and again. I got it and didn't think that much of it when I first started playing it, but like a lot of other people, and I think Jurassic Junkie has also mentioned this too in a review that he did of it, he said, and I agree, that the first 30 minutes or so feel fairly generic, sort of like typical kind of Gears of War type first person shooter, and okay, you've got the added bonus of using the leash, you know, to leash enemies and you know, whack them against cacti and fences and whatever, or being able to boot them off into huge drops and stuff like that to gain extra points and extra credits. But once you've played through the first half an hour, it does become a lot of fun. It's not particularly intelligent in any way, but it's basically, it is what it is. It's a good, fairly short first-person shooter. As I say, with the added bonus of being able to use a leash, which you also use to be able to buy upgrades and stuff from drop kits. You use the leash on the drop kit to get upgrades and stuff. So, as I say, I'm near the end of it anyway. I think I'm on some like chapter 5 or 6 or something. I think it's chapter 5. It's quite a short game, I know, and I wouldn't mind trying the multiplayer just to see what that's like. So I'll be doing that very, very soon, because I'm going to finish it in the next, either tonight or maybe tomorrow night. So that's Bulletstorm. So it was excellent, and for a £5, it's an absolute steal for a £5. So there are far worse things you could spend a £5 on. So the only other game I bought was a download of the PSN network for PS3, and that was Journey. I love Journey. It's made by That Game Company, who also did Flow and Flower. So generic first-person shooter? No, they don't really. Those guys don't really do that sort of thing. They're more, I don't know how you describe them. They're more like kind of mood pieces, really, rather than games almost. And it's quite fitting that it's called The Journey, because this is a game in which it's all about the journey. It's not so much the destination, it is all about the journey. I don't want to say too much about it, because it's something you need to experience, and it's quite hard to explain. You're basically in a kind of desert landscape, and you're making your way to a destination, and essentially you just use what's around you, which is basically wind. It's mostly sand and wind, and you do get joined along the way by other players. But it's an interesting take on co-op in that you never actually know who it is that comes and joins you. They look identical to you when you're going through the game, but you never find out until the end, once the credits have run, who they were. You just see the gamer tags, but their names, and their online names. So I think I ended up playing with about 10 people over the course of the few nights that I played it. But it is fantastic. Visually, it's sort of Islamic looking, sort of very kind of Middle Eastern, kind of Islamic sort of. So that's the only way I would describe it. That's probably the best way I could find to describe it. Very kind of Middle Eastern, kind of North African, Middle Eastern kind of feel to it. But it's fantastic. It's very, very short. It is very short. So you play it, anybody's any good at video games will play it in no time at all. But as I say, don't go look for shooting stuff or whatever, because basically you don't. But it is well worth it. And I know that Mr. Plim, I think, on his channel has said that it was his favourite game of the year so far. I would probably go along with that, simply because it's different to anything else that's out there, in the same way that Flow and Flower were. They're definitely more, as I say, like mood pieces. It's more like experience. Their experience is like no other, really, when it comes to games. But anyway, that's Journey for the PS3. So those are the 2 games that I bought in the last couple of months. Talk about restrained or what. And then now it's basically about one Blu-ray and a couple of DVDs that I'm just going to talk about very quickly. I have bought more kind of like pre-owned DVDs, but even that I've kind of knocked in the head until I've made my way through a kind of backlog that's staring at me there. I am making my way through stuff, and watching Game of Thrones as well, which obviously as I don't have Sky or anything, I managed to find, like everyone else. So I've been watching Game of Thrones. I don't have it on Blu-ray. I don't have season 1 on Blu-ray yet, but I am going to. For those who haven't watched Game of Thrones, why aren't you watching Game of Thrones? It's fantastic. So definitely my favourite TV show at the moment, and I'm sure that's the same for everyone else as well. Right, so the first DVD I bought recently, and it was Jason's Faces that made me buy this, because he's always trying to get me to buy stuff for him, and then but less said about that the better. Sometimes I give in, sometimes I don't. But anyway, I'm glad I gave in, because I got this anime DVD from manga, High School of the Dead. Basically, Japanese high school kids versus a zombie invasion, or a zombie outbreak, whichever you want to call it. Over the top, just over the top. But normally, I'm not. A lot of anime can sometimes leave, pretty much leave me cold. I don't watch a lot of it, and it can leave me pretty cold. But this, though I haven't finished watching it, Jason's finished watching it. What I have watched of it, I've watched about half of it, has been fun. It's just really entertaining, very, very good, and it's quite cheap off Amazon now. I think I got this for about probably about £7 or something. And there's 12 episodes, 2 discs of 12 episodes. It's 15 because there are like slightly rude bits, but and it is very violent. It is quite violent, but it's hugely entertaining, very, very entertaining, and I'd highly recommend it to if you basically want an anime about zombies. This is the one to go for. And on the anime tip, and we're continuing on that. This was another one that I saw recently, and this is Paprika. Now Paprika, and I didn't realise this until I looked it up on IMDb, was actually the inspiration, or I think partially the inspiration, for Inception. Now Inception, I found, it's a very Marmite sort of film. Some people love it, some people hate it. My own view is that I found Inception alright, but not the greatest film I've ever seen, and it will be a while before I watch it again, though I probably will watch it again. But Paprika, which uses pretty much the same idea, but it came first, I actually found far more entertaining. It's just a lot more fun. Whereas Inception isn't really fun. It's, I think it attempts to be more philosophical about it, but Paprika was excellent. And again, this was quite cheap. I think I got this for about, I think I bought it in HMV actually, but it's cheaper online. I think I paid about £8 or something for it. Yeah, well worth. If you've seen Inception, then it's well worth seeing where they got the idea from. And so that's Paprika. Again, now is this? No, it's not from manga. This is actually. Is it? Weirdly, it looks like, I think it's from Sony actually. It's Sony Pictures, I think. Sony Pictures. But anyway, Paprika, definitely well worth a watch. And now, lastly, I come to the Blu-ray, my favourite Blu-ray that I've watched recently. I've watched Black Swan, finally got around to watching Black Swan, and I watched Brighton Rock as well, and both were excellent. Black Swan I thought was fine, it's a good film. I wouldn't rave about it like everyone else does, or certain people do, but it was fine, it was good. I don't watch many films about ballet, but if I'm going to watch a film about ballet, that's a good one. And I liked I can never say his name, Darren Aronofsky's films anyway. I liked Pi, and I've not seen, just while I'm looking over at my backlog there, I've not watched Requiem for a Dream, but I'm going to watch that. But this is my favourite film of the year so far, certainly Blu-ray, and that was Drive. Fantastic film, really liked it. Again, took me a while to actually get around to watching it, and but I'm glad I did, because it's fantastic. And in fact, I liked it so much I even bought the soundtrack CD as well, and the soundtrack is great as well. It's very good. Yeah, there's not much more you can say about it. It's just go out and get it, and if you haven't watched it already, then do. And it's quite cheap now. I mean, I think I got it from HMV for a tenner. Ryan Gosling is great. I mean, everybody's great. I mean, it's got Albert Brooks in it. It's got Ron Perlman. Does Ron Perlman ever give a bad performance? I don't think so. I mean, it seems to be that, especially recently, that Ron Perlman seems to be in everything. But that's not a problem for me, because I really like Ron Perlman a lot. But obviously the main actor in this obviously is Ryan Gosling, and Katie Mulligan as well, of course. And yeah, it's a fantastic film. I really liked it. So that's pretty much all my purchases as in the last couple of months. And I'm not entirely sure what purchases, because I can't really think of anything at the moment that I'm actually looking forward to buying. I've got another friend who's told me that obviously that Trials Evolution is out, but as I never finished Trials HD due to becoming quite crap fairly quickly on it, I did enjoy it, but I'm not as good as my friend and his nephew were. And I'm certainly not as good as the other people you see online. When you look at other people do the extreme stuff, it's like, no, I'm not going to bother going there. I'll just carry on with another game that I can't get my head around. But but what I've read and what I've seen of Trials Evolution, it looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. But I've no huge desire to actually buy that at the moment. So so that's about it, really. I won't be making as many videos, YouTube videos, simply because I'm not going to be picking up that much from now on. Well, certainly for the next few months anyway. I'm actually going to be watching stuff and playing stuff, and when I've made a bit of headway, I'll then start thinking about buying stuff, unless there's something very exceptional that I see. I actually sold some games actually to Cash Generator, mostly duplicates and games that like sports titles. No, I think I gave away the sports titles to Charity Shop, but just things that I had duplicates of, or I really wasn't going to play. It's just like a bit of house cleaning really, or housekeeping, I should say. So, which is no bad thing. So, I may sell a few more, but I don't think so. I think pretty much I've gone through my library of games, and I think pretty much the games I have, I do want to keep, or I'm going to play eventually. So that's fine, but it certainly did no harm to get rid of a few. It certainly gives me a bit more room. If only I could do that with DVDs, but that's not going to happen. I like my film library, and that's not going to happen. As any film buff knows, no film buff ever sells their DVDs or Blu-rays. So, on that note, I hope that everyone is fine, and I'm going to say cheerio, and thanks for watching.